All right. And we're live. All right. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for stopping on in. This is episode 78 of the Inner Circle podcast. Cal's coming back from the store at the moment, so he'll be back. We'll do some of the pre-show going on right now. Let's take a look here. Get this fixed right here. All right. All right. So, it's been we missed last week. I had some technical difficulties, but for the most part, we are back to normal. That's always good when we finally get things working again. So let's start talking some of the stuff that's going on here. So, B, what have you been playing lately, dude?
For the most part, man, I've been playing Monster Hunter. I picked up Shadow of Colossus this week. I haven't jumped into it yet, but I'll probably check it out tomorrow. Hearing a lot of great things about it, the remake, and I haven't played it since the original.
All right, so you would play the original though, so at least that much.
Yeah, I played the original. I bought it again on PS3, like when they had the collection, but never opened it up actually. It was just like a collector's thing because I didn't have the PS2 version anymore, so I just bought it just to kind of have it on the shelf.
I've heard of springing things last minute, but that's ridiculous, dude.
So I just figured I'd pick it back up again, and I'll definitely check that out this weekend, hopefully. And then it's come to that point in the NBA season. All-Star break is right around the corner, so I've been back on 2K heavy. The trade deadline ended just a couple of days ago, and there was
drama, dude. Drama. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
A lot of changes in the NBA. A lot of moving parts around there. So I got back into 2K real heavy and been playing that for the most part. So those two games have taken up a lot of my time, but looking forward to jumping into Shadow of Colossus.
Yeah, dude. I just started a little bit earlier today, and like I just took out my third Colossus, and like I'll say this way: the remake is beautiful. It looks great. I never played the original, but I had seen enough gameplay in its original state to see like, holy crap, this is a big change.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. But the only thing is, and I don't know, it's more. I guess this is more of a philosophical point when it comes to remasters. Like, you could definitely feel the controls are extremely dated. Like, controlling your horse should tell you more than you need to know about this game. It really is very archaic.
Yeah.
But other than that, like the design is great, and like in seeing it in the remaster form, kind of is like the actualization of the vision of what it was supposed to look like, and now it's like, this is amazing. It really is impressive. And I've played a little bit of it, and I've really enjoyed it. Sam, I know you've played a little bit more than that. How far are you into it now?
I actually just beat it a couple of hours ago.
Dang, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that long of a game.
No, there's actually an achievement for beating it under 5 hours. Or trophy.
Wow.
It's more of an experience. At the end of the day, it's not like it's supposed to be this 30-hour campaign or anything like that. It's you're supposed to take in the experience of what you actually have accomplished. So it's not that long of a game, but it definitely will have an impact on you. Once you complete it. So
yeah. That and been playing PUBG with Sam here, getting chicken dinners.
Chicken dinners left and right.
Oh man, that was a lot of fun last night. We had we were playing PUBG fashionistas. Like, look at my trench coat. Look at my puffy yellow jacket.
This dude in his yellow jacket, he went on about the yellow jacket for the entire match. It was ridiculous.
Hey, that was the match we got our chicken dinner. So
he nearly got caught by the blue wall looking for blue jeans that matched.
Yeah. PUBG, man. Oh my gosh, that's still fun. we're like what, a month now? We're a month later now. No, 2 months later now actually, and it's still fun, and it's still got a ton of people playing. It really is it's a fun experience.
When you've got a squad, it's incredible. Like if it's just you, it's like, all right, 1 match, 2 match, I got my fill, I'm done. But when you've got a bunch of people that you all know and you're playing with and you're having a great time just fooling around, it's fantastic.
Yeah, dude, totally a blast. But yeah. So actually, I want to take this moment before we start the official show up to rant about Fortnite and Epic Games, because I will say by far they have the worst customer service of all time. Absolutely the worst. I just so one of the things they talked about with Fortnite when that came out was that you were supposed to be able to have cross-play or cross-buy, rather. That if you bought it on PC, you could play on PS4. However, the way they have it set up is that on the consoles, whichever one you play the game on first locks that account to only that system. So what'll happen is, like, okay, let's say Sam here wants to play Fortnite Battle Royale on PS4, but he also wants to play on Xbox. He goes and creates an Epic account, and he doesn't think anything of it, so he links both his PlayStation and his Xbox IDs to that account. You go and play it on PlayStation first, just for whatever reason, because you got PUBG on Xbox, and you start playing, and you're like, good. It locks the account to the PlayStation. So when he tries to go and play on Xbox on the same Epic account, it will not work. It prevents you from playing the game. So you need a new Epic account. However, the trade-off is on Epic, you can't unassociate your account from your PlayStation or Xbox account. You can't do it. You actually have to call customer support, which actually you can't even call them. You have to email them for them to unlink it for you. And I emailed them a week ago, and they have ignored me ever since then. And even on Twitter, like they're responding to everybody else, and they're ignoring me too. And I've been so frustrated with this experience. I cannot stand it. I basically came to the conclusion that Epic Games is garbage. They're incompetent. It's sad. And I live close by to them too. I have a cousin who works for them. And it's just depressing to see how horrible that company is. That they are that incompetent, they can't do anything in a week. Or can't even do like a simple function that everyone else can do. So, anyway, sorry, soapbox moment. I've been very frustrated this last week with a lot of customer service related problems. So, all right. So, I don't know where Cal is, but we'll get started with the show anyway. So first up, let's get this thing rolling. All right. Hey, Exponites, welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast, episode 78. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show. This is your host, Anchorman V2, stepping in for Cal while he is coming back from the store, hopefully sometime, with B Money 101.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And our latest editor of the cast here, Samuel Tolbert.
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
And with Cal, KWRX Kal-El, we are the Inner Circle. Thank you guys for stepping on in. Thanks, Sam, for stepping in last minute. We do appreciate you coming here and everything you've been doing, all this good work for the site lately. It's been an absolute blast, sir. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Absolutely. It has been a blast just letting me get to writing and seeing view numbers skyrocket. It's enjoyable. It's good. Team is fantastic. It's nice to have some good work to do.
All right. So, real quick, while we got a moment here, this is your first technical appearance as a part of the Inner Circle team for TICGN. Why don't you give a little intro about yourself, just so people kind of get an idea of who you are, and we'll try to get an idea.
Okay, sure. So My name is Samuel Tolbert. I'm on the Twitter sphere at Samuel Tolbert if you want to follow me. I've liked video games since I was a really young kid, and my parents handed me Age of Empires in order to teach me history. And I took to it, fell in love with it, started moving on to other smaller games and then bigger stuff. Got an Xbox, played on my cousin's Nintendo 64. That really cultivated that love of big open video games and like Zelda and shooters like Halo, and it just skyrocketed from there. And I've been writing for about a year and a half now. Professionally, I have over 580 published articles, and I joined TICGN about a month ago. Have 28 articles up on the website right now. It's been a blast working with the editing team. I enjoy talking about video games almost as much as I enjoy actually playing them. So yeah, that's me.
All right. So that's good to hear. And again, thank you for coming on board. Real quick, as we kind of get things rolling up here, I want to talk about Monster Hunter, which had some interesting news that in, was it 2 weeks now? They have sold 6 million copies of Monster Hunter, and that includes on the Xbox.
Well done.
The Xbox, and what was it, like last week, Monster Hunter was like the top paid game on Xbox. I know someone mentioned that. And I know I saw that on the store. I can actually take a look at the moment, but it has had an astronomical level of success on the Xbox, especially considering many people thought that people on Xbox don't buy Japanese games, and while to some extent that is true, we Xbox guys generally do not support the Japanese games that come through, but maybe that has more of a question to do with quality than the game that comes out. So Monster Hunter has had a huge level of success, and I kind of want to get your impressions on that, guys. We'll start with you, B Money. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on Monster Hunter?
Well, I don't know if you guys remember this, but probably about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I was talking about Monster Hunter, and if it ever came to consoles, it would be like this major success. And once again, I was correct.
Keeping up the record.
Yeah. You can go back to the tapes. You know what I mean? Go to the archives. I did talk about this about a year and a half ago. But you know what I mean? I don't think this is a surprise to me. I've been playing Monster Hunter for a long time now. And it's nice to have it on the big stage again. You know, I've played on Nintendo systems. I played on the Wii U with a bunch of friends and things like that. And I've always enjoyed Monster Hunter for what it was. And they've actually made it more gamer friendly on Monster Hunter World. This is not the same experience you'll get if you played any other the previous Monster Hunter games. They definitely have made it more friendly to newcomers. And I like that it's done that, and it's opened its book up to more players, because I think if they would have kept it the way it was, people still would have kind of been a little standoffish and not kind of picked up the game. But I think since it is opened up more and a lot easier to jump into, and it's on a bigger scale, it's more inviting, and more people have jumped into it. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to continue to grow. I think they could probably get up to 10 million before it kind of plateaus. But it's great news for Capcom, because they've kind of struggled with some hits and misses, and Resident Evil is really nice, and then they kind of missed with the Marvel vs. Capcom thing. So they definitely bounced back with this. So shout out to Capcom.
All right. Yeah, man. What about you, Sam? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'll bounce off of what B said. Bringing Monster Hunter to the big screen, to off the portability factor, it seems like a no-brainer in terms of success. A lot of people on PlayStation and Xbox and PC, I know it's coming to PC later, but still, those guys are eagerly waiting. People want to see that. They want to see a more, I'm not sure if realistic is the term, but just Monster Hunter on better hardware, Monster Hunter in a more accessible fashion to a lot of mainstay console gamers, and the numbers speak for themselves. It's been a phenomenal success so far. What's interesting to me is how there seems to be an overlap between people leaving Destiny 2 and picking up Monster Hunter. And I wonder if that's because Monster Hunter World, at least in my limited experience with it so far, actually makes the grind very enjoyable in terms of tracking down these different beasts. You get your new gear and it looks really cool, and you can forge new weapons, and there's so many different progression paths. They're making it fun to go on these repeat investigations and these repeat optional quests and stuff like that. And it's my first Monster Hunter game. I've known about the series, but I've never actually played one before this, but I'm having a blast with it so far, so it's not really hard to see why it's such a success.
Yeah, Sam, you brought up the whole grind system.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are kind of leaving from Destiny 2 to Monster Hunter because the way that the grind is kind of set up, it's more of like how the original Destiny was, where you kind of felt rewarded if you went back and grind.
Right.
And Monster Hunter, every grind is rewarding. You're definitely going after something, and you're trying to accomplish either some new weapons or some new armor or some new stuff for your palico. So every grind feels rewarding, and it definitely pays off. I've seen a lot of people with screenshots of this crazy armor that they have and crazy decked out weapons. So
totally.
People are definitely putting in the work out there.
Yeah, and it's the way it's also set up is that like after every hunt, you got at least enough materials to make something. And so like here's an example. So I was just kind of looking for the next big thing on my Switch Axe, and I was messing around with it a little bit, and I just got done hunting, I think a Diablo, and I came back and it's like, oh look, I'm just like 2 things short of having this new Switch Axe for my this Diablo Switch Axe. And I was like, oh man, I'll do this one mission here and I'll have just enough. I'll have that, and then I come back and I'm like, oh yeah, I got enough for the Diablo axe, and I got enough for this. And so it's like, it feels rewarding, and it's not like just throwing materials at you, but it does it liberally enough,
right?
And that's what's so fun about it. Like it really is a good time to jump in there. And by the way, I did just double check. Monster Hunter is the top paid game on Xbox currently, and I'm looking at the most played list currently. It is, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Actually, top 3 are Fortnite Battle Royale, PUBG, and Rainbow Six Siege, which has now dethroned Grand Theft Auto 5 out of the top 3. And let's see, Monster Hunter's knocking right on the door of Roblox, which has been in the top 5 for a while.
Roblox.
Yeah, it's number 8 on the most played games on Xbox currently.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
It's ahead of Overwatch and Rocket League and Destiny 2 for sure. But,
I imagine that obviously you got the hardcore guys who do actually buy Japanese games who are going to support it. But I wonder how much as well, attributing to its success on Xbox, comes from the bro factor of, yo, let's get some giant monsters. Let's go kill this thing. This looks awesome. This is like we're fighting mini Godzillas. I can't help but wonder if that's playing in just a little bit in terms of making it. And I know, B, you also mentioned that this one is more accessible than past Monster Hunter titles to newcomers. So it all sort of adds up to a perfect storm, I think, making it really appealing to a lot of different gamers.
Yeah, it really is. It's really a fun game. I've enjoyed it. And also dropping in January. This by the way, this pretty much guarantees that Capcom from now on will be dropping all the major titles in January or February.
After Resident Evil 7 and Monster Hunter, absolutely.
Exactly. With both of these big games coming out, having good success, that's great. It's great for them. And especially for Capcom, which looked for quite a while to be kind of down and out. And like for every good decision, an equally bad decision comes out next. So, but yeah, it looks good for them right now. Like if they keep this up, if they like it may, I think also it kind of says too with the success that we're seeing on the Xbox platforms, maybe Capcom's days of making pure exclusives are done. Or doing these little deals and stuff. I think they've maybe be like, hey, maybe these more Japanese focused games that we've been having coming to PlayStation alone may not only come to PlayStation anymore because there's clearly a market on Xbox. So
I definitely think regardless of whether or not that happens, because if it does, it won't happen overnight. It's nice to see Capcom sort of stand on their own 2 feet again, because they have been a little financially volatile in the last few years. So it's nice to see some renewed success.
That's true. All right. So, oh, by the way, I figure what I'm asking here. How far are you guys in a Monster Hunter?
I'm playing on 2 systems. You guys know I bought it on both consoles. So
excuses.
I'm probably. I think I'm on Xbox. I'm in. I think I'm in like story level like 8 or like 8-star missions or whatever.
Yeah.
And then on PlayStation, I'm only on 5-star. I was trying to get the Watcher gear for the Palico, but like I missed it by like an hour. So
they'll bring that back though. That's not gonna stay gone forever.
I'm hoping they do. Just so I can get all the rest of the materials to finish that off. But yeah, I definitely need to put in more time on both consoles, but you know, it's been tough.
Oh man, for me, I just got done with the main. Well, it's Monster Hunter is a little weird when it comes to story because I just completed the quote unquote story of the game. Basically, the reason you going to the island or going to the new world in the first place, I completed the goal, but it's not over. I don't want to go and get into spoilers. I completed the main story, but it's not the main story, and there's a lot more to go. So, if that makes any sense. Oh, look who decided to show up to his own podcast.
Hey, family business, man. It'd be tough out here, man. It's hard out here, man. Trying to do these things and stuff. Glad you guys are on the subject of talking about Monster Hunter. First and foremost, what's up, everybody? Whoever's in the chat, I haven't hopped in chat yet. I do apologize for being late. Last minute situation where I had to run out with the family and the kids, as you could probably hear in the background, they trying to get put to bed. Listen, man, Monster Hunter is straight crack, bro. For me, anyway. You know, it's crack for me because listen, I had to put out this tweet earlier. I felt like Monster Hunter was a mistress to me, you know, because I'm always on the game. So my wife comes home and she sees me on the game and she's like, you know, what you do all day? You've been playing this game all day and stuff like that. So it just became a thing where it was just like, man, when she comes home, if I know she comes home, I gotta hurry up and get off the game. I'm playing the game at awkward hours of the night. 1 a.m., waking up at 9 a.m. to play just to get some time in before she comes in and complains and, you know, harasses me for what I'm doing. And it's just really addictive. Like, I didn't want to get off today. I was trying to get my alpha armor and realized that I had to get a particular animal to get the pieces that I needed to finally get everything set up. And I would try to go and kill the creature, but I'm so powerful that one swing now kills it completely. Like 1 or 2 hits just blows the whole thing up. And it's kind of frustrating trying to like gently kill this thing or something like that. And I'm a glaive guy. So the insect glaive, I love. Yo, bro.
Insect glaive is beast. I just went back to that.
Man.
Yo, I just got this moth called I think it's called the pseudo cloth. It's a white moth. Bro, the speed on this moth is like 14 with 9 in power. Oh my God. And it does blast damage. Bro, this thing flies around like a mosquito. It's like all over the place. It's super quick. I mean, I'll be knocking dinosaurs out of the air with this joint, man. It's nasty, bro. I can't live without it at this point. I just want to put every element I can get on this one. I'm gonna have like 9 of these moths with multiple elements, bro, because this moth is just OP. And you know, I'm getting the glaive up to where I want it to be and stuff. So listen, Monster Hunter for me is a hit. 6 million shipped. I heard like at least 20 to 30% was sold on Xbox, which I think is really great. That's excellent. I'm glad because I would love to see more of the stuff on the platform. I can't say enough about this game. I had a big gripe about multiplayer early on, but now that multiplayer is slightly fixed, I know for some people it's not, but it's slightly fixed. I'm in love with the game. I can literally play the game and not have to play with anybody that I know just because of the SOS system and the way they had that whole situation set up. I think is dope.
Yeah, see, I've never run into any issues with the multiplayer. Like, even first day, me and my dude, we hopped right on. I sent him an invite. He came to the squad, and we just started playing. But I saw that a lot online. Like, a lot of people were having issues with the multiplayer. But I jumped in and didn't have any issues.
Well, were you playing on Xbox or PlayStation first?
I played on Xbox first.
That's interesting. Because I heard a PlayStation had a better chance than we did most of the time. But I think that's because they actually had a beta.
Yeah, they had the beta, man. Listen, I again, I had this gripe with Capcom sort of showing favoritism to Sony, and I get that, Japanese supporting Japanese. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I can't knock that. Plus, it also has a larger install base, and the majority of stuff is going to come from that. The game, according to Digital Foundry, looks better on the PlayStation 4. And I don't mean just the 4, but I mean the Pro as well over the X. And the thing that surprised me the most, I think, was the fact that there was actually missing items in the game. You know, whether it was bushes, grass, trees, whatever. Some of those things were absent in the Xbox version, as well as the resolution being slightly worse, though the performance is much better on the X. So I guess it's a give and take, but I just didn't expect it to be graphically inferior, considering Microsoft put so much into the GPU. You know, but with the multiplayer, I did hear it was hit or miss when I first got it. I was really griping about it because it just felt like it wasn't working. I couldn't get the right people into to party up with me. Me and my homeboy, we would team up, but we had to go through like this hub system, which was an absolute pain in the butt to do. And now that they have everything kind of working a little bit, it's gotten a lot better. And you know, everything that I thought about it has kind of faded away as I've gotten deeper and deeper into the game.
All right. So
Sam, have you jumped into Monster Hunter?
Oh yeah. I've put in about 40 hours on the Xbox version so far.
Okay.
Hunter rank 8. I would be a lot higher, but I've been playing some other games at the same time. But I'm looking to double down on Monster Hunter over the next couple of weeks. It's my first entry to the series, but I'm having a blast with it so far. It's a lot of fun.
By the way, did we introduce Sam to the crowd as the new TIC member? Okay.
We did.
Yeah, big pickup for us over at TICGN, man. I'm really appreciative of Sam and all the work that he's done. He's made an impact immediately and things like that. Surprisingly, I was actually in a chat with Bella Rise last night, and we got to talk, and I got the chance to chat with her a bit and her new fiance. And, you know, we spoke about the websites and stuff like that. And she really had a lot of praise for Sam. So, you know, welcome to the team, Sam. Good to have you on the squad. Glad that you're here and everything like that. So, you know, really appreciative of all the work you've done so far.
Hey, glad to be here. I'm having a blast working. The editing team is great. It's nice to have a lot of work to do. Work is cut out for us. But, you know, we're seeing views skyrocket. We're implementing a couple of small changes here and there. Going well.
Absolutely.
All right. So, briefly, while we get a chance here, let's talk about Shadow of the Colossus for a little bit. We talked about the pre-show just a tiny bit. Who here picked it up? I know I did. So.
I did.
Yeah, I picked it up as well.
All right. Cal, did you pick it up? No? I guess not.
No. I'm here. My bad. My mic was on mute. No, I was saying that I didn't pick up Shadow of the Colossus. I got a chance to play some of it back in the day on PlayStation. Like, I get the nostalgia effect of it and improved graphics and everything. I just don't like the way people treat it like it's a brand new game. That's the only thing I don't like about remastered games. You know, it's like you'll have a conversation with somebody. Same thing with Gears of War. When Gears of War got remastered, and I know the Gears franchise is a great franchise or whatever, but they went ahead and they re-reviewed the remaster and lowered the score. The score is actually lower than the original release of the franchise. You know, and I find that funny. I don't think that games that are remastered need to be re-reviewed. If you're going to review it for the remaster of it, that's fine, but don't re-review it for the content, because the content is pretty much the same. I think that's not cool at all. So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the game as if it was a new game, and I find it ironic and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's new to a lot of people, and I think that's why like so many people talk about it too, like it's a new game, because like for a lot of people, this is their first time ever experiencing the game. So, you know what I mean? If you played before and you're trying to get other people to check it out, you kind of got to talk about it like it's a newer game or something that someone else hasn't experienced. So I can kind of get it from both angles.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's my first time. I didn't have a PS2. I mean, I played PS2 at my friend's house, and none of them had Shadow of the Colossus, so I never played it. And for whatever it's worth, Shadow of the Colossus didn't actually sell that well on the PS2.
What type of child abuse is it for you not to have a PS2?
A child who's very happy with the computer and an Xbox.
Anchor, you didn't have a PS2 either?
No, I went from PS1. PlayStation. No, dude, my whole history was like I started playing. The first console I actually owned was PlayStation 1, and then I was like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. And then got a GameCube and said, screw everything else, and because GameCube was life, dude. GameCube was it.
My man said GameCube was like. I had 3 games on GameCube, man. I had Soul Calibur because of Zelda. I had Mario Kart Double Dash, and I had Mario Party 8. That's it. I tried Pikmin, didn't like it. Metroid Prime, I had Metroid Prime as well. Metroid Prime. And that's it, bro. Everything was PS2. First it was Dreamcast. Everything was Dreamcast. Then it was PS2, and then it was GameCube. I got the OG Xbox last. I hated Xbox. I will continue to tell the story. And literally, I feel like I've gone through like some type of baptism, and the evil spirits have left me. The evil spirits of fanboyism has left me from my PS2 days. But when I worked at GameStop back in the day, it was Funkoland, and I was a young buck, and I was working at Funkoland. Dude, I refused to sell Xbox. I hated Xbox so much. The controller was so stupid. We used to call it the turtle shell because it was so big. We were like, bro, we refuse to sell it. Our store manager used to yell at us. Everybody in the district selling Xboxes but us. We have a full stock. like we're not moving Xbox out, bro. We sitting up there talking about PlayStation 2. Like, yo, if you're not getting PS2, it ain't worth it, bro. As soon as I got on Xbox and started playing Halo for the first time, I was like, bro, I don't know. I'm gonna have to get an Xbox or something like that.
Giant L
was kind of hot, bro. Yeah, son. And then we got Live. And the first game we ever played on Live was Soldier of Fortune. And it was like the first person shooter that was on Live where we could really play like actually online. Bro, this was like back in the day when I think broadband had just started. I think it brought I think I still had dial-up. I think we still had dial-up at the time. It was like 2000. Oh man, like 2005. I think I was still living in New York at the time, right before I moved to Orlando. So about 2002. About 2002 is when it came out, man. And after that, I was hooked. I wanted every game on Live. I didn't have to go to my boy's house no more and share a split screen TV. It was a wrap. It was a wrap after that, man. And I've been Xbox ever since. But I feel sorry for you guys, man, not having PS2s and stuff like that. Stuck with GameCubes and everything.
With GameCubes. Dude, GameCube was low-key the best console that generation. We had Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin, Super Smash Bros. Melee,
the devil
Double
is
Dash.
GameCube,
dude,
first of all,
GameCube had some gems, man.
GameCube has some
gems. It was the best.
Yeah, bro. GameCube had a wave. I'm not gonna lie. When the Wave Bird controller came out, we was like, yo, that controller was fire, bro. We could literally play that game from behind a door. That's how crazy it is. But
dude, I still have my Wave Bird. I bring my Wave Bird for those tournaments.
No, you know
that's my lucky thing, dude.
Like we're so off subject, but I remember playing Phantasy Star online on what was he playing? Was that Dreamcast? That was Dreamcast, right? Yeah. It was on Dreamcast? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I remember playing Phantasy Star on Dreamcast all day long. And then once Dreamcast died, I was depressed because I was like, I did not want to get a PlayStation 2. And I held out for the longest time. And then I finally crossed over to PS2, bro. And it was a wrap and everything like that. And it just was, man, if you miss PS2, they had so many gems. I think the thing about PS2, though, is that a lot of people tend to forget that there's a gap where there literally was no competition after Dreamcast died. Like that gap in like right around 2000, I think PlayStation 2 came out like 99, like the end of 2000, right around with Dreamcast. No, Dreamcast dropped in 2000 or 99. I think it was 99.
In the 99.
99.
That's when 2K first came out. I remember it like it was nothing.
Right. And then the PlayStation came out like 2000 because it took a whole year for the Xbox and the GameCube to come out. And in that small gap, right where Dreamcast died, PlayStation 2 took over every game you could think of. It was like the only platform at the time, and it was the only thing out. So they signed everything. And I was just like, they was getting everything. I remember when Disney made a game called Mark of Cree, and I was like, Disney? I refused to. Whoa, what? Do you see this combo? Dude, if you've never played Mark of Cree, you need to go back and play it. That is a PS2 classic, bro. It was amazing. Talk about the way the Batman fighting style was, where you had enemies coming at you from every angle. You would press circle, X, square, and then you had like fatalities where you could stab a guy with a spear and watch his body slide down the pole or chop somebody's head off. This was a Disney game, bro. A Disney game doing this. Crazy, amazing game. PS2 was ill. PlayStation right now, I don't know about, but PlayStation 2 was fire back in the day.
Yeah, man. It's been so. Go back to the original topic. The reason why I brought up Shadow of the Colossus. So it is re-spurred the discussion about remastered games in our particular little community yet again, and whether or not remastered games is as good as backwards compatibility. And I figured I'd re-ask the question here for those who tuned in. Which would you rather have at this point in time? We know what people thought back when backwards compatibility was announced initially for Xbox, come out a couple years ago. But as we are sitting here now, would you rather have them remaster like these classic games and like give it the Blue Point treatment, or would you rather have just full backwards compatibility, kind of like what we got right now?
Well, we gotta clarify that Shadow of the Colossus is not a remaster.
Thank you, B.
It's a remake.
Remakes are not remasters.
Yeah, that's totally different. Yeah.
I actually just got done talking about this topic on Undead's new podcast just a couple of hours earlier. Remakes, as difficult as it can be to understand this, are actually pro-consumer, just like backwards compatibility is. Remakes for games like Shadow of the Colossus free the games from the trappings that they were in. Poor visual quality that didn't actually realize the scope and the artistic genius that was going into it. The game is brought to life on PS4 in a way it couldn't be and wasn't on the PS2 or the PS3. That's just as pro-consumer as backwards compatibility and being able to carry your games forward. Cash-in remasters like with Marvel Ultimate Alliance,
Activision,
or Prototype.
Batman, Arkham.
Exactly. That's not the same thing. I mean, I kind of tolerate them given the shift in architecture, which for a while made backwards compatibility tough on the 360. I mean, on the Xbox One, it's impossible on the PlayStation. But nonetheless, remasters aren't really pro-consumer. It's a cash grab. Remakes are different.
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. All right, so let's rephrase the question then. Would you rather have a remake like this or full backwards compatibility?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I'm not going to be conned by these two con artists right here talking about remakes and everything like that. Listen, if the game is the same game that it was that I played 10 years ago, ain't no story changes, ain't no new characters, ain't no new environments, bro. It's the same game, just basically recreated to look up to date, bro. That's a con. That's a con to me. I don't care. That's a con, bro. I'm not spending $60 for it. You're not gonna con me into spending $60 of my hard-earned money. First of all, second of all, the Xbox stuff. I have to admit, I prefer the backwards compatibility the way the Xbox One X does it. Because when you look at Knights of the Old Republic and you look at the way Knights of the Old Republic look right now, it's an astounding difference. Obviously, polygon-wise, it's not going to be an improvement. It doesn't look great graphically. It's not to say that I wouldn't fall into the con and buy a new Knights of the Old Republic if they remade it today and look graphically like something today. I would definitely fall for the con, I have to admit. But at the same time, I got to say that I probably would go with the stuff that I already own First of all, it's pro-consumer, like you said. The games themselves are already being up-resed. The frames are being improved automatically by the console. But again, that's based on the console. If it's just straight backwards compatibility, then probably not, because a lot of those games play like old games. That's why a lot of people talk about Crash.
You've been assimilated by the Borg. You need to correct yourself, sir.
Resistance is futile.
Why? What do you mean?
You're botting out.
Oh, okay.
You're botting out, dude.
Go ahead.
Take the red pill. Escape while you can.
All right. So, I don't know. For me personally, it's tough. It's real tough. I think a lot of it has to do with time. And on one level, I kind of believe that these games in particular, the ones that we're rolling with now, I tend to believe that if the game's 10 years or older, or like right on that precipice, I think doing a remake is fine. Anything younger than that, no.
Yeah.
No, just not at all.
Well,
like, don't even tease it. But in general, though, if it was complete full backwards compatibility, like every single Xbox game available, then I'd lean with that more often. But in the way that things are currently, though, I kind of lean more towards remakes as well. If the remakes are worth their time and they're not just little cash-ins. If that's the case, I'm all for it.
Yeah, for me, like, I'm all about the remake. Like, if they announce like a Metal Gear Solid remake, like OG Metal Gear Solid remake right now, I'd buy it.
That's another one. That's
If
another
they-
one that really needs it.
If they remade like the original, like Splinter Cell, I'm buying it. You know what I mean? Like, there's like so many games. If they went back and remade the original ones, I'd buy it. Like, there was some rumblings on Twitter today about them their possible remaster of like Metal Gear, the Metal Gear collection coming to PS4. They're just like, if it's HD, like, okay, so what? You know what I mean? I played those games before. You're not gonna change anything. Still gonna play like a PS2 game. You know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather it be a remake, feel refreshed. You know what I mean? Feel like a new game to me. You know what I mean? It's got all the modern, you know what I mean, technology implemented to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd rather play it in that state than to just be like, play it in backwards compatibility or play it in the original state, just in an HD version. I'd rather have the game remade.
Another one I'd put forward is Knights of the Old Republic. Phenomenal story, trapped in, let's just call it for what it is, terrible mechanics. I love that game. I still play it from time to time, but look, it's aged horribly. Free it up. Give it a grounds-up remake, better combat, fantastic visuals. Let people experience that game as BioWare's vision at the time really was. You know what I'm saying? But games nowadays, like towards the end of the tail end of the 360 PS3 era, we aren't ever going to need remakes because Gears of War 3 holds up really well. And it looks great on the X in 4K. The Last of Us holds up phenomenally. We're never going to need a remake because it's already really good. But some of these older titles are trapped and they need to be freed from that.
Oh man, if they announce like a Jade Empire remake.
Like, Jade
I'm
Empire is criminally
hurt somebody,
underrated.
man.
First of all, y'all keep listening to Sam, the con artist. And Brandon is brainwashed. He's been brainwashed since joining Brad. We can't take nothing these
coming
people
from
say
the board.
seriously. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm just playing around. But I mean, listen, remasters, remakes are cool, man.
You are still botting out, dude. You are still botting out. You really are.
I don't know why I'm botting so bad.
I have no idea.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck.
Am I clear now?
But no. Yeah, I don't know, dude. But yeah, I mean, it's just a strange thing, dude. It really is. But I don't know. What else we got to talk about? We got a couple things we could discuss. A lot of things happened over the last 2-week period. We got a release date for Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody stoked by that?
Of course, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
2018 is going to be a better year than 2017. I know we hyped up 2017 so much last year about how it being the greatest games year that we've had ever. 2018 is going to kill it, though.
I'm just looking at my poor wallet. Like, thank you, Xbox, for what you're doing with Game Pass. Because, honest to God, if you hadn't done that, some of this stuff would have been impossible. Like, we just had Monster Hunter World, Shadow of the Colossus, we got Sea of Thieves, then we got God of War, Yakuza 6, and those are just the ones we know about right now.
Yeah.
Then we get, it's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous, dude.
Hey, what about now? Am I still body?
There you
You're
go.
good.
Now
There
you're
you go.
good.
There's the real cow.
All right. Yeah.
No more Bizarro Cal from the negative the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I was just gonna say though that in all joking aside, though, I don't disagree that remasters can be beneficial. A game like Final Fantasy VII deserves a remaster. I look forward to picking that game up, obviously, or a remake, shall I say, especially if it's done right. But it has to be, specific games. It can't be, every, game that they kind of put out there, like Voodoo Vince or something like that. I always go back to Voodoo Vince because I just hate Voodoo Vince. I hate that game so much. I hate that Phil even approved that game getting remade or remastered or whatever. But a game like Final Fantasy would work for me. Games like Knights of the Old Republic would work for me. Old school RPGs definitely work. You know what I'm saying? But me overall, if I have the system that's designed for backwards compatibility and those games, and I own those games and they are available to me, yeah, I'd rather play the games that I already have. If they can improve, at least in the frames or the fidelity of the game, especially the games where they don't have bad mechanics. Like I was trying to say that Crash Bandicoot was a game that got remastered but kept a lot of the same mechanics. A lot of people complained about it because saying that it was more difficult, but it really wasn't the difficulty. It was more of the mechanics of the game. It was still old school, which made the game difficult. It wasn't as fluid as something that you would play today. And they also compared it to Mario at the time, which really wasn't fair. So, I just think that if Microsoft, PlayStation, or Nintendo do more stuff like this, that they choose the right games to do it on. And if it's backwards compatible, that they improve the frames and the resolution and the textures.
I know what I would want to see remade. If they could remake the original Witcher game and Witcher 2.
Oh, well, you know what? That especially hurts because
you're speaking his language.
Well, yeah, he's speaking my language right now. But they were planning to remake the first one. They were going to use a hybrid of like the second one's combat system and the third one's combat system, because the second one was out and the third one was in development. So it was going to be like a hybridization of the two systems. It was planned for the PS3 and the 360, but some publisher dealings fell through and it's like in development hell. So, But yes, the Witcher 1 is another game, absolutely, that could use a remake.
Oh yeah. See, there's some out there that could that deserve the remake, remake treatment, not just the remaster.
The ones that you cringe at how they play mechanically.
Yeah.
I still don't like the way people talk about old games like they new. I don't care.
Salt. All right. So anything else you want to talk about, Cal? Anything you had on your mind?
Nah, not in particular, man. Just some of the rumors that's going out. I recently heard that we were being sort of shunned on, what is it? How do you pronounce it? Is it Reset Era? Reset
Era. It was just a couple of people and a story that got out of control that we didn't even write.
Right.
That situation has been taken care of.
So listen. Well,
I'm
listen.
interested now.
All right. I was actually in the thread, so Cal, do you mind if I take over and explain?
Sure.
All right. So what happened is Segment Next put out a story that Perfect Dark. Basically, everyone's familiar with the Reset Era rumors, right? from the leaker who's been right in the past. His username is Clobreel. He talked about Fable being remade, not remade, but a new Fable by Playground Games, a new Perfect Dark, things like that, long before Eurogamer or anybody else confirmed anything. All right. So what happened is Segment Next took Clobreel's statements and ran with them, saying they knew who was working on the new Perfect Dark and that it was a UK studio and all these other unsubstantiated comments. They had absolutely no proof. I'm not really sure how, but somehow it got attributed to us on Reset Era, and a couple of people were saying, well, you can see that's just not credible right there. Me and Chico Edge, another of the editors who are on the forums every day, took to the situation and we clarified it.
I mean, basically what it was, obviously we've been talking about this for a long time. I mean, even me and B a long time ago, we had known that Rare would work on a few projects back in E3, like 2016, I think it was. We went and we had heard some stuff about Rare or whatever. With the news that the coalition is working on or working on a project, they're still doing Gears, but some of their team is helping work on a project out there. Then you have the news that Playground Games is possibly working on Fable. A lot of people didn't know what the game possibly was. And we had spoke about how Rare was working on Sea of Thieves, and they had two other projects that they were thinking about or actually in the plans to be worked on. And with news of Perfect Dark coming out, I can see that falling in place. Now, again, these are rumors. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is saying everything is 100%. And I said that in a tweet as well. What I said was that, we won't know the actual truth until Microsoft comes out and confirms. But based on what we've been seeing and what we've been hearing, a lot of the stuff is lining up with a lot of the rumors that we've already heard, which seem plausible and stuff. And that's basically what I put out there on Twitter, which was that Microsoft is, working on a new Fable, and now we're hearing about a new Perfect Dark. And with the coalition working on a game or teaming up with another studio that's working on a game, that actually fits right up the coalition's alley. Because I can't think of any other game that they would work on being a game like Perfect Dark. Because remember, they started out doing Shang Heist. And Shang Heist was like a spy espionage type game. So if they're helping on a project, that could be something that they took prior, I'm not saying they use those particular assets, but they could have used those ideas for something that they're putting towards with the new Perfect Dark, if that is something that is actually factual. And again, these are rumors. And basically that's what I was saying. And that was just based on something that I have read with Segment Next, the things that we've been hearing through the interwebs, little things that I heard about at E3. And that's kind of basically how everything came to fruition. When I put the tweet out there, I never put it out there as a fact. I never said that this is actually coming out or this has been confirmed or anything like that or whatever. But, people run with stuff, man. People always want to run with stuff. People always want to try to make it seem like we don't know what we're talking about or we're not a credible source. And I find that very funny, considering a good majority of stuff that happened with Xbox actually was broken by us or happened on the show and was spoken by us. I can guarantee you at least everything prior to 2017 when it came to Xbox literally came from us for a good portion of the time. Because if Tick isn't destroying games, we're finding things out about them. So,
yeah, that's the one thing that I've said to so many people. Even with the whole Perfect Dark situation, we talked about this a while ago. We've had Ken Lobb on, we've thrown out ideas, so even if we aren't directly responsible, we definitely have planted those seeds and put that out in the air. So
exactly,
people don't give us enough credit, but it is what it is. Just tune in because we definitely keep our ear to the street and we provide the information that people are looking for.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's nothing that nobody can't go back and listen to see where we have influence or we said or given ideas or ask questions about certain things and stuff. Some people act like they hear things for the first time and like, oh my God, this is breaking. And then I'm like, dude, we talked about this back in 2015 or 2014 when we spoke to these people. Like we already knew about Shenmue, and we heard about Shenmue at E3. Like literally, we were there. talking with the executives about Shenmue. I can't tell you what happened about that, but I can tell you that we heard what's happening with it, at least on the Xbox side of things. And it's a lot. It's a lot of information that we have that obviously, if you say certain things or you do certain things, could ruin your relationship with certain executives. And when you have those type of connections, you want to be able to have people trust you with information and be able to feel like you're trustworthy to come on. Because again, we're a small media company, or trying to become a small media company. We're not IGN. We're not GameSpot. We don't have the type of clout or power like a corporation to demand, certain access because we have millions and millions of readers and followers. That's just not us. So we have to be very wary of the people that we make connections with and stuff like that. But we built great relationships and we have a lot of contacts and a lot of respect with the people that we know in the industry. And that's great.
And there you have it, folks.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about? It's not. This time of year is kind of slow for Xbox news. It's all like it's either an announcement or that's kind of it.
Can we congratulate Xbox for making it through January without any bad news?
Oh, right.
Come on, I mean,
not a game was canceled. Woohoo!
No cancellations, nothing but positive press.
We're good to go this year, boys.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's great that Microsoft hasn't had any bad press as of right now. Right now, they've had a lot of rumors, a lot of news coming out about the things that they want to do and the moves that they're trying to make. Every year we get hype for E3. Every year, either we're disappointed with the hype or we're satisfied with what we saw. We won't know anything to E3, obviously, but based on what we're hearing, things seem a lot brighter for Microsoft. If they do make an acquisition as far as purchasing a studio and getting things right with first party, that's great. But listen, great job with PUBG. It's been a great pickup. It's been solid. I think that was pretty great. Sea of Thieves coming out in March. I think that's going to be really great for them, really big for them. Especially with Mixer and streaming and stuff like that. They recently put out a dev diary on more in depth about the lore of the game. And you can check that out on ticgn.com, as well as what it's like to be a legendary pirate. I think that's the goal of the game, to become this legendary pirate where you mark your name in the game and it's there forever. You can literally be in the game forever. I think that's pretty cool, at least until the servers give out. So, make sure you guys check that out if you want information on the Sea of Thieves, as far as, what's happening with the story and the lore of the game and how does that affect everything and what you can do besides just, hunting for treasure and stuff like that. Check it out on ticgn.com.
Yep. All right. So anything else before we start doing the Q&A?
How do you guys feeling about Kingdom Hearts 3? Did you guys see the trailer?
Trash.
I didn't
not
get
see
the trailer.
See the trailer. I didn't get a chance to see the trailer yet. I will say I'm seeing very mixed reactions. A lot of people are hyped, and a lot of people are complaining about the world's chosen.
I don't care about none of that. All I care about is simple and clean on the soundtrack. That's all that matters to me, bro. I need my Kingdom Hearts theme songs, bro, because them theme songs, that and Sanctuary, are fire. I can listen to those songs all day long. But I'm definitely gonna pick it up. Disappointed that the Xbox still didn't get the remasters or remakes or whatever from PlayStation. I'm surprised Square didn't bring them over yet, but hey, it is what it is.
Like the 1.1, 1.5, 1.3 Shoelaces edition. Oh. I'm sorry, I lose track. I lost track a long time ago.
Yeah, but they definitely should have.
Versions.
Maybe if they're smart, they'll bundle the Xbox version with 1 and 2. That would be great if they were able to do that. Like you can get in the Xbox version, you get Kingdom Hearts, and then you get Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 remasters, 1.5 and 2.5 on the Xbox, digital for like $100 or something like that, $120, whatever. I think that would be great if they were able to do that, so you can play the whole trilogy. Because I find it just weird that you're basically coming at the end of a story, like you're putting this game on a platform that's never had the game at the end. Like even PlayStation got Mass Effect 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Like they eventually got 1 when they got 2. Like, bro, give the Xbox fans 1.5 and 2.5 HD remix. Like, I don't understand what the problem is, but maybe it's a Sony thing. I don't know.
I don't know, maybe. But I mean, I looked at it and I'm sitting here like, this is a lot of Pixar. That's what I kept thinking. Because it's they got they had Toy Story, which was the last reveal that they did, and now it's gonna be Monsters Inc., which I think Monsters Inc. is a pretty cool world to go with, I guess. The only thing is, and I will be brutally honest as usual, this does not look like a 2018 game. This looks like a 2010 game.
But should it though? I mean, it's just a cartoon-looking game. It's really cartoony graphically.
I have like the fact that you can have, because everyone was talking about, oh, the graphics are so good. Look at Woody's. It looks better than the original than the movie. And I'm like, okay, but Monsters Inc. was from 2001, and if you look at Sully's fur was probably the biggest one, but if you look at the quality of the graphics that were done there, it looks horrible. A 17-year-old movie has better graphics than a 2018 game. That's pathetic.
I mean, to be fair, it's very hard to get Pixar quality.
No,
it is.
Shadow of the Colossus has better fur physics than them. They have better actual fur.
I mean, you know what? I think that game is 60 FPS. There's a lot happening in Kingdom Hearts. There's a lot of action on screen compared to Shadow of the Colossus. You're talking about big open spaces, one enemy on the field. There's a lot happening in Kingdom Hearts. You got the Heartless, giant monsters. You got Mickey. I mean, you got Donald and Goofy hopping down. Mickey popping in with his ninja skills. Bro, there's a lot happening, going on, magic and stuff like that. So who knows why the graphics. So I want to give Square the benefit of the doubt, man.
They earned the benefit of the doubt. They had 5 years after teasing this game. I expect better than this.
I don't know, bro. I don't see how graphically improving a game like that would make any difference, honestly, because of the type of game that it is.
The weight.
It won't.
Well, you also got to consider the fact that at a certain point, they announced this game to be in development at E3 2013. So it was in development for at least a little bit of time before that, probably a lot of time. At a certain point, they have to focus on either continuing to improve the graphics and keeping up with the latest technology, or actually finishing the game.
They probably put 2,000 gummy ships in that damn thing. That's where all the space is coming from. I'd be sitting there making gummy ships for hours, bro. What? Don't get me started on Kingdom Hearts. I used to love me some Kingdom Hearts back in the day. Grown man playing Kingdom Hearts, playing Donald and Goofy. That don't make no sense at all. Oh, man. Funny stuff. All right, let's try to get to this Q&A, man. It's getting late. You want me to go ahead and end it, Anchor?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Again, listen, man, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Greatly appreciate the support. I do apologize for coming in late. I'm trying to improve things. Make sure you tune in to TICGN.com. I had put a poll out earlier to try to get a feel for how people felt we were doing, and we got a lot of great feedback. So I'm very appreciative of everybody that voted on the TICGN page on Twitter. And if you don't know what that handle is, it's TIC Game Network. That's at TIC Game Network. Make sure you follow that for all the latest news on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Nintendo Switch, anime, comics, and movies. Also, make sure you tune in tomorrow for the Iron Lord podcast, Mondays for Multiverse, I believe Wednesdays for 2XP, and of course, Saturday evenings for Tick Podcast, the premier podcast for Xbox. And listen, again, I'm working extra hard to try to get the content all up to date on iTunes. We're making some changes to the website. I got the new channel coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'll keep you guys posted when you can tune into the new show and the new network that I'm building and stuff like that, which is going to have a little bit different focus than what we're doing here, but still will be good for the people out there who love games and entertainment and anime and all that stuff like that. So I think that'd be pretty cool. So listen, I'm your host, Kelwar S. Kellel, with B Money 101, Anchorman V, and Mr. Sam Tolbert, and we are off this planet. Peace. All right. let's get this Q&A started. Again, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Anchor, I'm going to have you take over the reins and read out the questions because I don't have no way to read stuff. I'm scared to even open up a YouTube channel before I start sounding like RoboCop again. So you go ahead and handle that, and I'll answer. We'll try to answer the best that we can.
All right, let's scroll up. Take a look here. All right. Let's see. I saw one on the way here. All right, so another question came up as usual. Question this was actually more directed towards Mr. Samuel Tolbert and the rest of the crew. Should Microsoft buy Capcom now?
I still don't think Microsoft should buy Capcom. Listen, Monster Hunter is a great game, and it would be a great pickup for the Xbox. But I mean, you can't make games like that exclusive. Somebody made a great point. I was reading some news recently about the downside of, let's say, Microsoft buying a major publisher like Capcom or Sega or any type of studio like that. It really hurts that company's bottom line because now you're either cutting off access for certain IPs or you're still releasing games that are multi-plat. And as much as I would love for them to work out with something with EA just to get those sports titles on Game Pass, I don't see it happening. I just can't see it happening. I don't see Capcom happening either. The studios that they should buy are studios that strictly make games for PC or have been focused on PC because it's not across any platform like Obsidian. They should really look at some of these PC studios that really just have a focus on there, like PUBG Corp and everything, and look at what they're doing great, and probably pick up some of these studios and have them make some first party games if they aren't going to have their own first party studios be created. Because I think picking up wishful thinking for a Capcom or a Sega or EA or or Valve or something like that. Well, Valve seems more plausible, but anything else it doesn't seem realistic.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see him picking up Capcom, just because of Capcom struggles. You know what I mean? Lately, that's a lot of you have to kind of undertake. You know what I mean? If you pick up a developer like that, you kind of want to grab one when they're at their best or on the top. I think that's why EA snatched up Respawn. You know what I mean? They released 2 great games and they saw the potential, so they snatched them up. But when they're kind of at their bottom barrel, it's you kind of got to let them figure it out first and then jump on there. And Capcom hasn't bounced back far enough yet to be worth the purchase in my eyes. Because like I said, they've had some struggles with the Marvel vs. Capcom thing, and then Dead Rising 4 didn't sell that well, and we saw some layoffs and with that team. So right now, I don't think it's worth jumping in to try to buy them.
Resident Evil and Monster Hunter are doing well, but they got to revitalize some other parts of the company as well. The only thing I can say is that I would have liked to see, and this isn't going to happen, I would have liked to see Microsoft pick up Capcom Vancouver and actually let them work on something other than Dead Rising. I was really sad when the news broke from Jason Schreier's piece on Kotaku that the new IP that they were working on had been canceled and the scope for the next Dead Rising had been cut back. Just cut Dead Rising loose. Let the team work on something else altogether.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I don't know. Me personally, like I said, I'm never really a fan of anyone just outright buying an entire company. There's too much overhead, and you're just going to lay off a bunch of people, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, that's what's going to wind up
especially with Cap. Like that's the thing. Like unless that's what your goal is, and you really do need all that overhead, and you need the structure, or like an Amazon kind of buyout where they buy out the whole thing and they just let them do their own thing, but under the branch name of Amazon. Like that's different.
Mm-hmm.
To me though, I don't know. I think in Capcom's in a position now where they don't feel like they'll need to sell because they just had 2 great games in a row and they sold well.
Right.
So I mean, No need to. So, we had another question. One guy, Mike, asked, Mike M., are any of you guys slightly worried that Crackdown 3's destruction has been dialed back and they haven't demoed the destruction since 2015?
Man, I told y'all something was wrong with Crackdown last year. y'all didn't want to listen to me. Remember, we was in a podcast. I was like, man, Crackdown is good. Don't worry about it. They showing it at Gamescom. It's all good, man. Something is wrong with that game. There's a reason why they ain't showing it to us. You would think, like, they said the game was coming out 2018, and I know it's Sea of Thieves time, and we ramping up for that, but we haven't seen that game since last year. And they didn't show us no multiplayer last year.
I'll say this, building on that, B, I guarantee you once Sea of Thieves is out of the way and Rare's small team continues to provide the content updates, the next big one will be State of Decay 2. It won't be Crackdown 3. They'll start hyping State of Decay 2 immediately.
I think Crackdown 3 destruction is viable. I think the problem that they really had was they built everything around this idea of destruction. And the people got to see the game in like a free-for-all mode and was disappointed. Even I was sort of disappointed with it. When I got there, and I have a video of me and Ken Lobb that I shot. I was doing a what's it called when you shoot video live on Twitter or Facebook again?
Periscope.
Yeah, I was periscoping. And I walked in and I got into the arena early, and I'm looking and I said, oh, it's Ken Lobb. And me and Ken Lobb start chatting, and he's showing me the black hole gun. And he shoots it, and it's sucking just cars and all types of metal in the center of it. Then it just explodes. And I thought that was really dope. But as I looked at the environment in the world, I didn't get the sense of a vibrant city. Everything was colorful, but it was dull. And when you look at that demo, when they first show you that demo, and I know it's just a demo, I know it's not the actual game or anything like that, but it reminded me of a vibrant city. And what I mean by vibrant is I always go back when I look at cities that are supposed to be like vibrant. I always think of like cyberpunk type cities. Like if you've watched have you guys watched Altered Carbon? The movie, the Altered Carbon series. Dope. Right, it's so dope. The way that city is set up, there's lights and neon lights, and there's videos all over the place. And when I first saw Crackdown, that's what I saw. When you look into the distance of that city, you see lights, and you see neon lights, and you see all of this like action happening. And when you look at the game, it literally had this old school feel of what Crackdown looked like back in the day on the 360. And it looked dull. And I just felt like if they had a graphical change, if they made some improvements with the multiplayer, because I just think that the Mayhem genre is a dead genre. It just really is. The Ages of Mayhem just committed suicide and fell off a cliff. The games that came out with what's the name of that game? Oh my god, the game that's supposed to be like Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, Saints Row.
No, Saints Row.
Saints Row.
No, Saints Row. Saints Row. Saints Row tried to be like Grand Theft Auto. It was a serious game when it first came out. And if you notice, they transitioned from being a serious game to being this mayhem game where you kind of just get rocket launchers and you coming out of hell as the president. Like, this is nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole genre is completely changed and stuff like that. And you just blowing stuff up. And that kind of gets boring after a while. So, you look at the success of GTA and you look at the way games are being done today when it comes to like mission-based games and completed things. Going outside and beating up a bunch of enemies and killing them until the boss come out is boring. That's going to get boring very quickly. And unless you're a true diehard Crackdown fan, which I am not, then I don't see the game being a success. And I think that's the reason why they keep pushing back the game, because I think they know that it is an old way to play. And old ways to play are no longer in. So they have to have this destruction gimmick in the multiplayer, but they gotta improve the single player campaign or the co-op campaign to keep that game going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if it's going to survive. I don't know if it's going to be a thing in the future. the fact they aren't showing it is really telling, especially because this is the year it's supposed to launch, and now they have to justify why they delayed it for so long,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not showing anything. And it's just like, okay, it just doesn't ring right to me. So,
Right.
yeah, I mean, because if you're proud of something, you're going to show it. And what they're doing right now does not tell me they're very confident in that product.
Right.
So
it's crazy.
All right, let me take a look. I think I got a couple other ones in here. I got one that wasn't necessarily directed towards us, but would be an interesting question to ask, or to answer, rather. Chris Cobra, one of our mainstays now, has stated Activision has made $4 billion off of microtransactions in the last year. Why should they quit, or why would they quit?
They're not going to. That's what Activision and Blizzard do.
Yeah, that's what they do, man. I think that's what Microsoft sees with Game Pass. That's what I said before. Everybody's concerned about. You look at Activision; they're a great example of what Microsoft wants to do with Game Pass. And I said this before in the last podcast. The success of Game Pass isn't the fact that they're going to sell a bunch of games. You know, the people who are diehard fans are going to buy Halo. They're going to buy Sea of Thieves. They're going to buy these games outright, if even at a discount if they have Game Pass when the game releases. But the people who don't buy it, but the people who stay on for $10 a month, the people who realize that there's new DLC and new microtransactions for Sea of Thieves and want to buy the next pirate gear or play the next pirate adventure, they're going to kick out the money because they didn't spend $60 on the game. They have extra income. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you start really recognizing, dude, this money is coming in and it's massive. Because even if you're not selling games, you have consistent and persistent revenue stream. You have consistent subs for the year. You have consistent subs for the month. You have consistent microtransactions coming in on all these games that you're putting out. And it's going to force Microsoft to continue to put out new games the way Netflix is putting out new shows. They're going to put themselves in debt for a minute. And this is what I truly believe, just like Netflix. They're going to put themselves in debt, pumping out all of these games that's going to be on Game Pass. But the people that get hooked or try or play, it's going to make Microsoft a lot of money very quickly. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to make more money off the people who's trying the game or that's hooked playing the game than the people that's buying the games outright, because it's $60 and the people who's passing on it, waiting 6 months for it to go on sale for $30. There's a huge difference from day one to 6 months and a year later. So I really think that that's what they see. And you see the success of Activision. I think Microsoft recognizes that and trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like with Activision, really, Activision will never stop microtransactions. And this is the one thing I always find really funny is that everyone makes the case for games really should be $80 as a buy-in, and maybe if they're $80, they even will stop doing the microtransactions. No, they won't. Activision sure as hell won't. Like they'll gladly charge you $80, like yes, but they're gonna put that there. It's gonna be there. You're gonna have those microtransactions. You're gonna be there. Like they will make that extra money off of you. And so that's why I think raising the price is a short-term solution. Because ultimately what's just going to end up happening is they're just going to pull it out again. They're just going to say, okay, $80 was good for the first 2 years, and we need to increase the price again, or we need to add microtransactions. So, but I think now it's about getting creative with the money that you got there and finding a way to maximize your audience base. Or your paying audience, rather. And so, I mean, Game Pass is a pretty good option for that. So, All right. Rest of you guys?
No, I mean, I think they could definitely follow that same model. You know what I mean? Activision has done so well with it. You know what I mean? They've released the same game with different developers every single year. And it continues to be the highest selling game every single year. You know what I mean? So they've found a formula that works for them. They make a lot of money off the season passes. and they've made a lot of money off Destiny, and they've made a lot of money off of Overwatch. You know what I mean? So Blizzard and Activision, they've got a great relationship, and they've figured out the perfect formula to capitalize on the consumer, and the consumers aren't really making a big stink about it. When EA came out and they did their microtransaction in Star Wars Battlefront, everybody and their mama cried about it. But nobody's crying about, paying for season passes on Call of Duty every year. They just do it. You know what I mean? So they found that perfect formula. And I think Microsoft can definitely do the same thing with Game Pass. As long as they provide enough content throughout the year, they'll keep people subscribed, and that money will keep flowing in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Take a look, see if there's any other questions here. Give me one moment. Let's see. All right. See anything, at least any other good questions. But I think I'll wrap things up here. All right. Any closing statements, guys?
Nah, man. Just listen. Keep it locked here for the premiere podcast of Xbox. I know there's a lot of other Xbox shows out there. Some are funny, some are witty. Some could be maybe a little bit more entertaining. But listen, the one thing you're gonna get here is the right information, logical conversations, some jokes here and there, a lot of banter going back and forth. And honestly, the best Xbox content you can get. You know what I'm saying? And we all work really hard to try to make sure that we find the best news, talk about the hottest games, and actually talk about games. It's hard nowadays. Everybody's always talking about other people or other things and stuff like that. Nobody talks about games anymore. And that's the one thing that we try to continue to do. Still working to get Craig Duncan on the show. I've been in talks with him. We're trying to see what we can do sometime this month, if not this month, early next month. And let's get a chance to talk with him about Sea of Thieves and see what's going on with Rare. I can't wait to have him on the show. Other than that, man, again, share with your friends, sub, make sure you follow ticgn.com, and you're going there to get your news and support the network and the website, because again, we can't do this without you guys. We thank you for your support as always.
All right. And we're out of here.